Okay, we're recording. Oh my goodness. And we're back with another Shaner'S Rant. Double duty today. Had to walk late. And yeah, it's been a few hours. Almost 4 hours, I guess. Went out and just sat in the yard and just chilled, you know. Then ended up having a drink on the patio with Mama Moose, and that's my heaven. It's all I ever needed. It's all I ever wanted. That's what I got. So, anyways, I was deciding whether I was going to play guitar tonight. I'm kind of burnt out on that. Or get caught up on all these other videos and news articles that I've got. I've got people sending me content left, right, and center, and just not enough hours in the day to get through it all, so I'll get it all set up and see what happens tonight. First up, as I kind of mentioned in the last episode, breaking, Stephen Guilbeault resigns as MP. Breaking, former Environment and Climate Change Minister Stephen Guilbeault will resign as Member of Parliament, CTV News has learned. Guilbeault, who spoke to CTV News, says he will tell the Liberal caucus about his decision on Wednesday. Bye-bye, so long, farewell, good riddance. Actually, in fact, na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, hey, 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 goodbye. Next up, MP from Powell River, BC.
First time in more than 150 years of Canadian history, a Prime Minister has sought the almost unlimited power of a majority government in Canada, not through a mandate from voters, but through their very deception and deceit, quietly courting a handful of self-interested, duplicitous MPs through backroom deals and who knows what else, effectively overturning the results of an election and concentrating power that the Prime Minister may covet, but is not democratically earned. The result is millions of Canadian voters who are angry and thousands who feel as if their vote was stolen, and I can see why. If you want a majority government in this country, you should have to earn it at the ballot box, just like every other government since 1867 in our country.
Hear, hear.
First time.
We were all done dirty on that one. Next up, and I'm going to try and zoom through all this as fast as I can, Miss Jasmine Lane.
You know those moments when somebody accidentally connects all of the dots for you? Take a listen to this.
I'll use the remainder of my time to plead to Meta to please do curate an environment online that is, family friendly, not just family friendly, to be honest, one that invites people to positively participate as an elected. We have so many comments on our social media that are, do not create environments that encourage positive discussion. So just wanted to put that out there to you.
So let's add some important context, shall we? They were in committee discussing Bill C-22, something that Meta, among many other businesses, have raised concern about when it comes to the government's lawful powers, government overreach, a surveillance state, encryption, what could go wrong? And this Liberal MP, he chose to ask one final question. And it wasn't about how do we best protect the privacy of Canadian citizens, how do we ensure that there's no government overreach that takes place here, that the proper protocols are set up. No. He took that opportunity instead to say, hey, I really want you guys to censor my constituents especially, because as a politician, sometimes people say mean things in my comment sections, and clearly I'm perfect, and those are all just mean, hateful, bigoted people. So can you make their comments disappear so I don't have to see them anymore? Here's the thing. Sometimes democracy isn't always polite. Sometimes people get angry, they get frustrated, they're sad, they're disappointed, and sometimes Politicians deserve criticism. And instead of that MP taking that on the chin, figuring out what he can do to better serve the people in his riding, he takes the opportunity when he's in front of high up people in Meta to say, please make their voices go away so I don't have to listen to them anymore. And honestly, the fact that those were his chosen final words when he had their attention while discussing Bill C-22 tells us a lot more about the intent of this bill than he probably intended.
Ouch. That's like an ultimate burn. Please do not ever get on her bad side. Whatever I do, whatever you do. Wow. Moving on. Next up is Brian Lilley. Sorry, Brian. I'm not trying to rip you off, but I'm trying to promote you. Trying to promote at least what you're showing here about Doug Ford. Now, before I go on, I don't know what it is about Doug Ford. He's kind of like a Trump kind of character. Like, I got a love-hate thing for him. He'll do something good, and then he'll do something that is like totally wacko. Then he does something good. Then he does something wacko. It's like, how about some consistency? Anyways, let's play the clip.
Premier Doug Ford has some choice words for a judge who's going way too far. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. Maybe you heard some of Premier Ford's words for Justice Michael Gibson out of Waterloo over his decision to say you can't move a homeless encampment in order to build much-needed transit infrastructure.
It's the most ridiculous ruling I've ever seen. I wish I could get that guy's address. I'll send 50 encampments in his backyard and see how he likes it. The craziest decision I've ever heard. But there's a lot of crazy decisions coming from our courts lately.
This judge, she slipped off the cracker with this guy. I'm sorry, the guy's a few fries short of a Happy Meal, and he just doesn't get it. These just ridiculous decisions.
Now, Ford has called this decision beyond ridiculous. He has railed against it, and for good reason. Justice Gibson is all wrong. And as Ford points out, unless this decision is appealed and overturned, nobody can touch this judge.
They're accountable to anyone. I'm accountable to every single person. Everyone in this province is accountable to someone. But guess who's not accountable? These lifelong judges that can't be touched. No one can touch them. They can come up with radical decisions that is totally against what the people want.
So what is so wrong with this decision? Well, we've got about 30 people who are at a homeless encampment in Waterloo, Ontario. Metrolinx wants to build a much-needed transit hub there, including a GO train station. Work has been delayed about 4 years now because different judges keep saying you cannot move this homeless encampment that was set up during the pandemic. Why? Because they say, well, drugs can't be used in emergency shelters and many motels there where the regional municipality of Waterloo would like to house these people. They don't want people smoking crack in them either. This is not hyperbole. This is not me stretching things. This is right within the decision. Let me read to you the words that Justice Gibson wrote. Emergency shelters are not always appropriate or available for people who lack capacity, have serious mental health and/or substance use issues. That's one quote from Justice Gibson. A few lines later, he says, motels do not provide the level of support required for high needs individuals. Behavioral issues frequently lead to eviction, and unsupervised drug use can lead to overdose with no one nearby to notice or assist, a risk that may be mitigated by the buddy system in the encampment. Translation, you can't move these people because they can't do the drugs they want to do. That's the essence of this decision. This is not a court decision about homelessness. This is about whether the court can intervene and start saying, you have to do specific policy things, government. You have to do things the way that we tell you in terms of how you lay out and deliver public policy. And in this case, they're saying you've got to allow people to smoke their crack, their meth, do their opioids in the emergency shelters or whatever housing that you are giving them. He also goes on later on to describe how you need to provide adequate housing. Again, let me read from the ruling. He writes, adequate housing with all necessary amenities must be provided to all residents prior to eviction. That line turns Canada's charter on its head. Canada's charter is about protecting you from government overreach. That line is saying government must provide you with the services that I, the judge, believe you need to have. In another line, here's what he says. In my view, the time has come that homelessness should be recognized as an analogous ground for the purposes of Section 15 of the Charter. That means that being homeless is the same as your race, your ethnicity, your sexuality, your gender. These are all immutable characteristics, and he's now saying it's got to be the same. But that line, in my view, the time has come, that is not a legal opinion. That is Justice Gibson's personal political opinion. Justice Gibson, here's my message to you. If you want to make pronouncements like that, resign from the bench and run for public office, because you are overstepping your abilities, you are overstepping your responsibilities, and this goes way too far.
Wow.
Premier Ford was asked if he would use the notwithstanding clause if this is not overturned. He just said stay tuned and they'll continue to look at it, but did hint that this is why the notwithstanding clause is in there. And Premier Ford is absolutely right. This is a ruling that uses international law, UN documents, non-binding agreements, and turns them into Canadian law in order to change the Charter. This ruling is an aberration when it comes to Canadian legal tradition. It needs to be overturned, and with force, by a higher court to make sure that no judge ever acts like Gibson did again. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media. And don't forget to subscribe.
Holy mackerel. Well, I didn't think I was going to play the whole thing. Sorry if I'm plagiarizing, but give him a like and a follow, please. I'm getting lots of stuff from him, whether it's columns or his videos. This is appalling. I mean, I can't even process that. Wow. What's going on with our judges, man? They're all losing their frickin' minds. Well, this is our country. That's our province for it. Well, let me think about this. So we can't help these people in this encampment, right? We just can't help them. We can't help them with their drug problems. We can't help them find housing. But we can help other people that pour into our country and give them everything. We can't help this homeless encampment and get them out of there, so after 4 years they can build a train station or whatever the hell it was going to be. We can't do that? Really? What's wrong with us? Jeez. Something not right. And we're moving on to the next clip. Michelle Rempel Gardner just went full auto beast mode on Mark Carney and his Liberal government. Well, this is from yesterday, so I'm a little bit behind on the times, but we'll see if I got it working. Here we go. Next clip, and we give her Shaner.
The thing that I want to, as an Alberta MP, make a comment on is the Prime Minister's comments this morning. I just want to say this. The Prime Minister and the Liberals, they need some humility at this moment. The reality is that there is a lot of frustration in Alberta after 10 years of Liberal policy that essentially shut down the energy sector's growth and stymied a lot of projects. I want to be very clear. It was the Prime Minister who started an international banking alliance that shut down Alberta oil and gas. He has no right to wag his finger. That makes it worse, and he shouldn't be doing what he did this morning. Also, arguably, he screwed up on Brexit. He came out as part of Project Fear, and it backfired. I would strongly caution him from doing that again, and the tone that he gave this morning was not responsible in that regard. What we need to do right now is that the Liberals need to project hope, not fear. And to do that, they have to start addressing some of the deep and real frustrations of the people of my province. I want to be very clear. Some of the most patriotic Canadians I know are frustrated Albertans. They know that a strong Alberta means a strong Canada, and a lot of people don't understand why the Liberals spent a decade stymieing our economy for no reason. That weakened our entire country, and we're seeing that right now, right? At a time when we could be producing record levels of energy to meet the world's needs at a time of crisis. A decade of Liberal policy not only cost the people of my province jobs and prosperity, it cost our entire country that prosperity. It cost our entire country energy security. But it's not just about energy security. It's not just about these bills which they need to repeal. It's also about equity. I believe that a strong Canada is when we are united in equity. And the reality is it's not all okay right now. The federal Liberals have treated my province for a decade like an afterthought. I've had many, famous quotes about this in the House of Commons over the years, and I've wrote documents warning that this would happen if the Liberals didn't take action to show some hope for that equitable Canada. So what I'm calling on the Prime Minister to do is he has no right to wave his finger. There's one person who can unite the country right now, and one job it is, and it's Mark Carney's, but he can't just wag his finger. He has to project real action. Tell Albertans when a shovel is going to go in the ground for pipelines. To tell Albertans when he's going to repeal these bills that are preventing investment in upstream development for our resources sector. When is he going to repeal the gun grab that has irritated so many Albertans, and more? I mean, even if you walk down the street to the National Art Gallery here, is there a display of Western heritage art? No. It's things like that. So rather than wagging his finger, what the Prime Minister needs to do is to project hope. Conservatives are going to project hope. For a decade, I have fought against these policies. We will continue to do that. And again, I just want to reiterate that part of that is having his immigration minister show up for work, mercifully. Thank you.
Talking about his phrase, dangerous bluff, is that what's bothering you, or just the whole tone this morning?
I think that and I'll let my colleague make some comments in a minute, just quickly before we, maybe PPH, if you want to do
French first, thank you. Bonjour to
well, they cut him.
So just to your question, I thank you. Former Prime Minister Harper, who I will note under which we did not have a national unity crisis, would always say this: bring the light, not the heat. And in this circumstance, what I would really encourage the Prime Minister to do is to bring the light, not the heat. And how does he bring the light? Deal with the actual frustrations of Albertans, right, of which I've listed some. So I would just tell him that perhaps his tone was off this morning, and to have a care to bring the light, not the heat.
When we see him practically,
will you be actively, Willie Tampa with the Western Standard, will you be actively campaigning for the Federalist side in Alberta?
So for a decade, I have fought here, and I've had a front row seat to watch the Liberal government actively campaign against my province, right? And actively pit regions against each other. I have always campaigned for a united Canada that is united in equity. And, when I talk about what the question is, like what the Liberals need to do, it is the Liberals who need to do this. So I'm going to continue, as I have for a decade. And, these are the exact remarks our party leader gave this week. We are going to push the Liberals to address the problems so that Canada can be united in equity. Thank you.
We saw Mark Carney and Danielle Smith basically lay out a timeline for construction to begin on a pipeline. A day later or so, Danielle Smith comes out and announces this referendum question. I guess I'm wondering, clearly that wasn't enough to stop the referendum question from happening.
Yeah, but there's no shovel in the ground date. I disagree with you.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm asking. Like, what more do you want to see him do?
I mean, look, there's several things. First of all, on the same day that they made an announcement to look at a project maybe sometime and maybe give it an approval, we had other countries announce that they were going to build an entire pipeline like the Emiratis did on the same day in that period. So, why wouldn't they just designate it in the national interest on day one? Why does it have to wait 3 months? He needs to give that pipeline approval, the permit, the day that proposal comes in. Those are the sort of assurances we need to hear. And more so, we also need to make sure that there's production to fill the pipeline. So that means repealing these laws, which has stymied investment and jobs, not just for Alberta, but for the entire country. It's not just Albertans that work in the energy sector, right? It's not just Albertans that benefit. Like, literally, the Liberals have campaigned against the entire country for a decade by shutting off access to our natural resources. But I want to be very clear, too. It's not just about that, right? It's the, as an Albertan, what I can tell you, sitting in the House of Commons, which has made my blood boil for a decade, is watching the flippancy in which they thought that they could just pit region against region and think that everything was going to be okay, right? And then pointing the finger at my province this morning after doing that. That is not what we need in leadership right now. We need calm, hope, not the fear-based campaign that he was known for in Brexit, not political maneuvering, actions, results to address the frustrations that, frankly, Conservative MPs have been raising for a decade.
It seems that Tim Hortons is trying to, move away from its reliance on temporary foreign workers by launching a campaign to hire more local workers. I'm wondering if you think it was time and if other restaurants should do the same.
So you're talking about temporary foreign workers. Yes, I'm sorry. Have to take a kick at thing that I want.
Well, I guess it gets cut off there. But yes, Timmy's, now that Dunkin' Donuts is coming in, they're backtracking on their pleading with the government to allow more temporary workers to come in and going to hire local whiteys. I guess people are really revolting against Timmy's. It doesn't affect me personally in a way that I don't go to Timmy's. I just don't. I've never been one to really frequent a Tim Hortons. I used to a long time ago when it was convenient for me at the time. But like, you know, now everybody goes through the drive-through, drive-in. Yeah, we're watching a movie. Well, some people do when they're driving. But there's so many people in the drive-through that, like, you wait a half hour just to get a coffee. It's like, I just don't do that. I'm also in I'm in an area where I have to go somewhere just to get a coffee. Well, if I really want a Timmy's, I'll put it in my Keurig. But anyways, that's me. I don't see what the big to-do was about a Timmy's. I'm fine with country style, and I just don't drink coffee out. I'm just one of those people. I don't have an opportunity. It's not like anybody goes, ring, ring, hey, Shaner, you want to go for a coffee? Never. Nobody ever goes, hey, you want to go for a coffee? I don't go for a coffee. I just don't. I'm lonely. Moving on. I'm back. Was I gone? Yes, I was. Yes, I was. But not for long. Anyways, the next story is, now, I've been afraid of the AI thing. You know, all the worst stories, Terminator and all that stuff. What was that other movie? Oh, shit. I lost it. Oh, I gotta put it on pause. Oh yeah, The Matrix. The Matrix. Oh, shit. Now something else popping up. I love it when I just kind of gently glance on the computer and stuff pops up. Aren't you supposed to just be able to click? Anyways, yeah, I'm meandering. So, like, I knew AI was going to be an issue. And, you know, it's all the futuristic movies coming true. And, you know, as if that wasn't a problem, I didn't realize what an issue these data centers were going to be. It's new to me. Apparently, it's going to be a real problem, folks. So, Aaron Brockovich, you remember that movie back in the 90s? Has launched a new interactive map and website tracking data centers across the United States, and Americans are flooding it with complaints. Within the first week alone, the platform received 1,690 resident complaints, with more than 1,800 reports submitted from 47 states soon after going live. People are raising concerns about massive water consumption, putting pressure on local resources, utility costs increasing for surrounding neighborhoods, loud 24/7 noise and from cooling systems and backup generators, potential pollution tied to e-waste and PFAS chemicals. Hold on just a second. Alexa, what is a PFAS chemical?
FAS are a group of synthetic chemicals with strong carbon-fluorine bonds, making them resistant to heat, water, and grease. They're used in many products like non-stick cookware, waterproof clothing, and food packaging. Because they don't break down easily, they're called forever chemicals and can accumulate in the environment and our bodies. Want to know more about how FAS exposure might affect health?
I hope you heard that. That's not a good thing.
Absolutely right. These chemicals have been linked to serious health issues, including cancer, thyroid problems, decreased immunity, and fertility concerns. The fact that they persist in our bodies for years makes it particularly troubling.
That's from my Alexa. She's telling me this. Thank you, Alexa.
You're welcome. Always happy to share knowledge, even when it's about concerning stuff like forever chemicals. Stay informed out there.
Wow. That blew my mind. So this is the same Aaron Brockovich, for all of us that are old enough to remember, who helped secure a historic $333 million settlement against PG&E after contaminating drinking water devastated California community in the 1990s. The new map tracks existing, proposed, and under construction AI data centers while allowing residents to upload photos, locations, and first-hand reports. As AI infrastructure rapidly expands nationwide, many communities are beginning to question the environmental and financial price that comes with it. Yeah, is this going to be worth it, folks? Do we really need to advance this way? I didn't know about this. I'm not liking this at all. And we're back. Oh, we're getting on in time, so I couldn't be bothered to pulling up the picture of the ropers today. It was too much effort. I exited out of the picture, and I would have had to find it. So let's go on with the jokes anyways. And normally, like I said, you wouldn't see the laughing tracks and everything, but it's a new setup, and you get to see what all I do. This would have been done on a different computer, but this is a simple concept, and it's just easier. First joke. I once saw a video of a woman holding up a sign that said, "I love you, Stevie," at a Stevie Wonder concert. I think about that a lot. But what's even better is in the comments on this joke. She was wanting to go on a blind date. Oh, this one. This is good. She could have made the sign spelled out in BRIAL. Oh, it doesn't work this way with this angle. I show like I have no teeth. That's not good. Oh, yeah, this was good. I don't know if this is for real, but this guy says, I did security for rail chart. Have another beer. Start over. I did security for Ray Charles in 1993, and the limo driver held up a sign saying, Ray Charles. When I told him he's not going to see it, he asked me, oh, shit. He asked me, should I make the letters bigger? Okay. I laughed this hard last night and I forgot all about it. Oh, okay. That's... oh, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that is funny. Not sure if I have another joke. Okay, last one. Oh, okay, hold on. Now you're seeing me actually do it, switching. Crowd booing. This is a stinker coming up. You know what? I opened a bag of frozen peas and a few rolled onto the floor. They were escapees. Oh, what happened to my boo? What happened to my boo sound? Oh. Well, that took me out of the moment. I had to fix my boo sound. Still funny, escapees. But I was laughing, and it kind of ticked me off that my boo sound wasn't working. Anyways, what was it, 8:36? Why am I doing this? Why do I do this? Anyways. Well, we're coming to the end here. And I did have a thought tonight. While I was sitting outside, I thought, how is a loser like me gonna ever get 1 million views? Well, if I make 1 million videos and I click on it myself one time each, I might make money at this. What do you think? Sounds like a sound plan. Good Lord. Anyways, it's been a day. Thank you for watching. Click like, subscribe, share. I think that's the only options. And tell a friend. And, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless. And all that jazz.